What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for December 17th, 2023. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery, and I do apologize if we're having some sound issues today. Not sure what's going on with the mic, but we will manage and get through this. But as always, let's start with our question of the day recap. Yesterday, I asked you if it was an issue that Jalen Hurts had to go through the fumble fall down drill from Nick Sirianni. And people had very strong opinions that commented on this, but overall, 64% of you said it's not a problem. You got to get back to basics when things are wrong. And I tend to agree, and I feel some people say, oh, it's embarrassing, it's Mickey Mouse, it's Bush League. But to me, it sends a message to the team that nobody really is absolved from having blame for the way they've been playing, not even your franchise quarterback. So it's an issue. It was a problem. It's addressed. So we'll see what happens now on Monday night. But I don't necessarily see it as an issue or a problem. Let's hope that the message was sent, though, come Monday night. If you want to leave your thoughts on the voice or text line, send a text or a voicemail to 267-495-8531. That's 267-495-8531 to get through on the voice or text line. Thank you, as always, for participating in the question of the day. We will have another later in the show. There is a new Back to the Future that was posted last week. We did a little thing on Herb McGee, almost like a bonus advent gift for you. One of the more underrated figures in Philly sports history. So be sure to check that out. That's Back to the Future with a PH, wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. One last thank you for everyone who participated in the gift and food drive for the Maddie and Dixon Community Cupboard. I went out to my parents yesterday to pick up one last donation, so I am going tomorrow at some point. So it's not too late if you want to quick get last minute things over there. If not, go to their website if you want to leave a donation monetarily. They have it all set up with different ways you can do that. But let's also not forget about them once the year, after the holidays are over and the year continues. But again, thank you for your overwhelming support. I really, really appreciate it. Today's act of kindness in our 25 days of kindness. This is an easy one to do when you're out shopping or going out to dinner or something, and just go up to the manager at a customer service place, whether it's a restaurant or a store. And as somebody who used to work in customer service and retail, go out of your way to compliment the job one of the workers did, whether it was your server, your cashier, somebody helped you find something in the store. Go out of your way, because a lot of times, and even in education now, when it comes to my teachers, most of the time I only get the negative things. Nobody calls me to say that Mrs. Smith is doing a great job or Mrs. Jones is doing this, that, or the other. It's always the negative things. And same way with customer service managers, especially during the holidays. Go out of your way to just give them a compliment and hook them up when you go. It's a very easy, simple thing to do. Just say, hey, Sally in the shoe department did a great job helping me out, or Bob over in Big and Tall helped me. Whatever it is, but just go out of your way to give them a shout out during the holiday season. Again, very easy to do. Speaking of easy to do, granted, the schedule is not the greatest right now, but the Sixers make basketball look easy right now. Everybody was out by the fourth quarter again. Joe had 42 points in the three quarters. They won by 53 points. Let that sink in for a minute. The Sixers beat an NBA team by 53 points, 135-82. Joe was just his dominant self, and it's good to see them getting, and this is a good stretch for them, again, to reset, see what they have. And it's been great that some of those guys at the end of the bench are getting a chance to play as we're getting closer to the trade deadline, showcasing what they have, making a case on whether or not they should be staying with the Sixers, whether they're part of a trade package. So this is like the best. I figured win-wise, this was going to help them out. They've won 6 straight. They're tied for third place in the Eastern Conference. But the added bonus to this is those guys are able to showcase, and I mean, this is the best of the best case scenario. But more on Joe. That 30-point, 10-rebound performance is his 10th straight, And only guys with a name, listen to this list. Only Shaquille O'Neal, Moses Malone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Wilt Chamberlain have more consecutive 30-point, 10-rebound games. His next one, I believe he'll tie Shaquille and Moses. He's only 2 then behind Wilt. Kareem, I think, had like 16. But either way, he's just somehow, as Tyrese Maxey said the other day, he is good at basketball, and the stuff he can do, he's only getting better, which is scary. So let's get in one more superstar, and let's see where we can take this thing this year. Flyers with a good win last night themselves. 8 straight games now with a point, 1-0 over the Red Wings, who the Red Wings are a playoff team right now. If the season would end, they would have the top wild card spot. So again, good win against a good team for the Flyers. They have it going right now. And I mean, maybe we're ahead of schedule, ahead of where we need to be. And then you still have Mishkov over playing in Russia. So I don't know. I've been telling you. Get in on the ground floor. The best way to get in on the ground floor is get your Flyers gear. Philly Goat has you covered. They have a wide range of not only Flyers, but all Philly sports. But they have that Quaker sweatshirt that we were inspired by one of our This Day in Philly sports history moments. They have just regular Flyer stuff. Still a little unsure. You can get your Eagles, Phillies, and stuff like that. But go to phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery. Get your Flyers gear. Get in on the ground floor. Help them out. Help me out. Help yourself out. All right, Eagles news. And Slay is out until later in the season. Apparently, random knee surgery. I mean, it is what it is. It's just I feel as though this sort of came out of nowhere. So that is definitely going to hurt them a little bit, especially because Geno Smith is questionable. Pete Carroll is playing the game. I have a feeling Geno is going to play. But it looks like Zach Cunningham and Cam Jurgens are also out, which it still hurts. Good news, though. Blankenship was a full participant. Jalen Hurts has the flu. It's just, I mean, it could not get any worse right now on the injury front. But hopefully Keely Ringo or Eli Ricks can step up. It's time to see. I mean, they came in highly touted. Monday night, let's see what they got. They could come up and step up huge, and this could be huge for the Eagles moving forward. I'm excited to see what they got. I mean, at this point, it's do or die. I mean, if the Eagles lose this game, they're done. And I know that's crazy to say with a 10-3 team, but I think they're going to end up having to go straight all through the road in the playoffs. And I mean, we'll see. But like I said, I mean, it's going to come down to the young guys, and we'll see. I mean, they have good pedigree from college, so it's time to step up, show me what you got. And I mean, the receivers for Seattle were good, especially if Geno Smith's playing. So it could be a test. I mean, I don't know. But we'll find out. Only about 20, or actually closer to 36 hours to go before we're at the game, depending on when you're listening to this. But we should get – I doubt we're going to get anything, I should say, on Geno Smith until tomorrow, just the way that Pete Carroll was playing it. But we will have our pick and a breakdown of this game tomorrow. I got to be honest. Usually by this point in the week, I have a lean. I have no idea where I'm going with this, especially with the news that all of a sudden Slay had knee surgery. So we'll have more on that tomorrow. Hopefully we get some good news, and Jalen's got an IV. They're putting him in a hyperbaric chamber, something. But more on the game tomorrow. I'm going to get your Eagles football fix. Check out my boys over the Clashing Conferences podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. Great episode this week, especially after that Eagles Dallas beatdown of the Eagles. So go check out and see what the boys have to say. Topher Pete was on his normal Giant. He's drinking the Giants Kool-Aid again. So check out and see what he had to say as well. The Clashing Conferences podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. All right, from here on out, we're going Sixers. And on this day, back in 1976, the Sixers lost to the Warriors 117-114 at the Spectrum. Doug Collins and Joe Jellybean Bryant each had 22 for the Sixers. George McGinnis and Dr. J couldn't get it going, while Rick Barry had 34 for the Warriors. All of this spoiling Billy Cunningham night at the Spectrum. The Sixers retired his number 32 jersey, I believe at halftime. I could not figure out and find anywhere in the archives when it happened, but usually those things happen at halftime. So I'm assuming it's at halftime. If it didn't, they still retired his number that day. Cunningham had just retired that previous season. He was a Hall of Famer. He would go on to become a two-time champion, one as a player, one as a coach. He was the coach when they won it in '83. Also led that '67 team to the championship. He was an 8-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA. He's a member of the NBA 50th and 75th anniversary teams. That 1966-67 Sixers team was one of the best to ever do it. He was a part of that team. Just one of the best players in Sixer history. Totally deserved his number 32 retired. Now, they did this before he became the coach. How did he become the coach? Well, that 76-77 team had Dr. J, Caldwell Jones, and George McGinnis. Rest in peace. He just recently passed away. Took them to the NBA Finals. And then had high expectations going into the next year. But 6 games in, the Sixers fired Gene Shue and hired Billy Cunningham. So not long after he got his number in the rafters, Billy Cunningham became the coach. And he was actually a pretty damn good coach with the Sixers. He is still their winningest coach in the team history. And took them, obviously, to 3 NBA Finals, winning 1. And has the highest winning percentage in NBA history behind only one person, and that would be Phil Jackson, one of the greatest to ever do it. So not only is he a Hall of Fame coach or a Hall of Fame player, he's borderline a Hall of Fame coach as well. But on this day in 1976, the 76ers retired Billy Cunningham's number 32 in a game that they lost to the Warriors 117-114. That team would go to the NBA Finals, lose in 6 games to the Portland Trailblazers after being up 2-0. That was Bill Walton's Portland Trailblazers. And then Billy Cunningham would take over as coach the next year. And the rest, as they say, is history. But that leads us to today's question of the day. And Billy Cunningham is one of the all-time greats to ever do it for the Sixers. But my question for you is, who is the greatest Sixer of all time not named Wilt Chamberlain? I feel like Wilt Chamberlain has his own category out here, so we'll take Wilt out of it. But who is the greatest Sixer of all time? Is it AI? Is it Charles Barkley? Is it Dr. J? Or is it Moses? Is it somebody else that I'm forgetting? But let me know. Call that voice and text line 267-495-8531. 267-495-8531. Let me know who is the greatest Sixer of all time not named Wilt Chamberlain. Uncle Randy, I'm looking at you. Wilt's in his own little category up here. But who's the greatest Sixer of all time not named Wilt Chamberlain? AI, Charles Barkley, Dr. J, Moses Malone, or am I leaving off somebody that should be on there? I don't think Joe is quite there yet. In 5 years, he might be knocking out one of those guys. But hit me up on that text line, 267-495-8531. Let me know what you think of who the greatest Sixer not named Wilt Chamberlain is of all time. All right, today's Philly Sports Advent Calendar. We open up the door and hey, we're staying with the Sixers, and there he is. It's the mayor, Steve Mix. Steve Mix was the 5th-round pick of the Pistons in 1969. Yes, a 5th-round pick. Could you imagine today having 5 rounds in the NBA draft? Like, usually 2nd-round picks barely make it. Sheesh. Remember, there wasn't as many teams back then either. He started his career, he was mostly reserve in the NBA, ABA, and CBA, kind of bounced around. Signed a free agent contract with the Sixers in 1973 and immediately sort of found his niche as a player in Philly. He played 9 years total while he was here and was pretty solid. He had averaged 11 points a game and 5.5 rebounds. He did make the All-Star team in 1975. Played in 3 NBA Finals with the Sixers. He was a great defender, high-effort guy, and just an all-time Philly favorite. Everybody loved the mayor. And you think about everybody who talks about how Philly likes blue-collar guys and guys that are going to hustle and do the dirty work. Steve Mix was like the epitome of that. He would go in there, play good defense, get rebounds. When he was coming in, you knew he was going to play hard and you were going to get the best he had, which is why he endeared himself so much to the Philly fans. After his retirement, he would spend 22 years as the color commentator for the Sixers on TV. I just loved when he teamed with Mark Zumoff. I can hear Mark now. I'm here. This is Mark Zumoff here with the mayor, Steve Mix. But he was a great color commentator, high energy, great guy to really did the hustle dirty plays. The things that Philly fans love. But today's Philly Sports Advent Calendar gift to you is the mayor, Steve Mix, a fifth-round pick of the Pistons in 1969. Came in, found his niche with the Sixers, went to 3 NBA Finals, All-Star team in 1975, and then most of us know him more as the color commentator on the Sixers broadcast with Mark Zumoff. But the mayor, Steve Mix, is your gift today, your Philly Sports Advent Calendar gift of the day. Hit me up on the voice and text line. Let me know, too, if there's a better name for that. I feel like there has to be something out there. But 267-495-8531. Who is the greatest Sixer not named Wilt Chamberlain, AI, Sir Charles, Dr. J, or Moses? Let me know. On this day in 1976, the Sixers lost to the Warriors 117-114, but they retired Billy Cunningham's number 32 up in the rafters almost a year before a little less than a year, I guess, before they hired him as coach. Eagles could be in trouble tomorrow, but we'll have more on that game as we get into tomorrow. Be sure to check out my boys over at the Clashing Conferences and hit up Philly Goat for your Flyers gear. It's going to be a rainy day. I think it's supposed to rain later. The rain, I thought it was supposed to start yesterday, but it's supposed to start tonight now. So get whatever you're going to do, get it out of the way early. Sit down, relax, watch some football, and kind of have that stress boiling in the back of your brain because the Eagles will play tomorrow night. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Sunday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.